You know what's amazing to me? It's amazing that over all these years, I mean, years since Franklin Roosevelt, uh, we black people have been voting Democrats all these years. And where has it gotten us? Nowhere. If you look at all the cities and states that's run by Democrats, and I'm not saying that the Republicans are any better, but the proof is in the pudding as to the party that's most dangerous to poor people, poor white people, working class blacks and white people. But amongst black people, the party that's the most dangerous is the Democrats. Well, the Democrat Party. Um, if you look at Woodrow Wilson, who was a Democrat, um, what you would notice what he did back in the day was create the Federal Reserve Act, which created a central banking system. And look at how much financial problems or woes that came out of that. The Federal Reserve System has robbed the American people for every dime that they've made. And this is another reason why we have so much poverty in America, because the government is borrowing money instead of making its own. And the real currency in America is supposed to be gold and silver, but it mentions silver a lot in the Constitution. And so you can see that the Democratic Party is the one that's creating this new world order that all the so-called conspiracy theorists were talking about. And then now we fast forward to Franklin Roosevelt, who was also a Democrat, who created the welfare state. Well, it wasn't the welfare state when he created it, but that's what it morphed into. And he overbloated the government with executive orders. Well, the federal government with executive orders, and created a situation wherein the federal government is now gobbling up all the power from all the states and basically centralizing that power in one government. And he was also the one that put the Illuminati pyramid with the Eye of Providence on the dollar bill. He and two other Freemasons by the name of Henry A. Wallace and Henry Morgenthau who was the Secretary of Treasury, and all three of them was instrumental in putting the eye that you see on the dollar bill today together. And so you can see that Franklin Roosevelt was also the man who had a part in creating the United Nations and all the other global institutions. And he also was the one who created Social Security that tracks everybody. Because as soon as you use your Social Security number, they know exactly where you are and where you work at. Fast forward to Harry Truman, who was also a Democrat. He created a situation wherein he was able to drop bombs. The only president that has ever done this, actually in the United States government, which at that time was the only government that allowed this man to drop bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in Japan, killing thousands of innocent people, civilians. And if you fast forward to Lyndon B. Johnson and JFK and the rest of them, what you will find during that era, during the Civil Rights Movement, when Lyndon B. Johnson created the Civil Rights Act, you'll see that that act has to be renewed every 40 years because it's just an act. It's not permanent law. So now you find yourselves having to vote on your rights every 40 years. You see what I'm saying? Because it was disingenuous. And then the feminist movement piggybacked off of that. And after those two movements, the civil rights and feminist movement, you see that the black family has disintegrated into nothing. You can see that the black family has become nothing. And also we have a 73 to 74% out of wedlock births in the black community, meaning that we're not even getting married. which today I don't even really approve of marriage anymore, because it causes one to get raped, particularly men, in those family law courts. And so you can see that they welfare policies that started way back from when Franklin Roosevelt instrumented it has also caused a rift in the family, because now women in our community really do not need us because of those policies. And I'm not saying that all of our women, but a lot of them don't have to depend on us, because the government has created a situation where they can be the husband and the father of our families that we create biologically and naturally. And so the government keeps men at bay while giving our women different resources, and Medicaid and Metro and all this other stuff. So why do they even need a man in the household? You see what I'm saying? You get where I'm coming from? So our family, from the civil rights movement, the feminist movement, which was really which were really liberal movements, and spearheaded by the Democrat Party, has caused us these problems that we're seeing today. And if you fast forward to Bill Clinton, who came in, strengthened, and created a situation where strong arm tactics are now being used from that point on by the child support system to rip up the family, because without the mother and father together, the child support system now has a monopoly in the situation. They exist solely for single parent homes, particularly single mother homes. And the Democrats created most of those policies that you see today surrounding the child support system, which has done nothing but create greed, and has created single parent homes. Why would someone want to be with someone if they can just extract money from them at bay? And then you fast forward. But before I leave Bill Clinton, he and Joe Biden created a crime bill that not only put so many black men in prison, or created a mass incarceration situation, but also created discriminatory laws that solely targeted the black community. And Joe Biden was a part of that. Democrats. Do you fast forward to Barack Obama? The shooting of black men was heightened during his time more than any other president in 40 years. And Trayvon Martin, all of them were killed. Even Sandra Bland and all of them were killed under Barack Obama's administration, and not once did he do anything about it. And then you look at California, you look at Chicago, and you look at all these places that's spearheaded by the Democrat Party, you will see that those places are full of homeless people. I was out in San Francisco some years ago, and I saw homelessness at every turn. And then they have harsh gun laws that you can't even own certain magazines for guns. They have to be limited to 15 rounds or something of that nature, and it's just been terrible. Even the lockdowns in these cities and states headed by the Democrat Party are very draconian. So you can see that these people are terrible, and Google and all of them are also liberals and Democrats. That's why they silence the conservatives. But this is the one thing I want to say. Why don't black people and even white people, why don't y'all vote for libertarians, the Libertarian Party, which believes in pure freedom, okay? You keep voting for Democrat and Republicans. Why? You've been doing the same things for all these years, and it hasn't gotten you anywhere but in this dark place we're in now. Joe Biden's not going to change it. Trust me, it's only going to get worse. Nothing's going to change with these people. And the very people that you elect to do a job to keep you safe are the very ones creating the chaos, and then offering a solution to the chaos that they themselves created to take away freedoms. There is no justification for taking away freedoms. There is no justification. I don't give a damn what it is. If you give up your freedom, then that's on you. And don't cry when the consequences come thereafter. It's something that Benjamin Franklin said, and you'll be well to heed by this. He said, any people who will give up essential liberties to purchase temporary safety deserves neither liberty nor safety. Remember that. You deserve neither one if you give up your essential liberties. All right? And you have to be willing to give that over by voting for people to represent you instead of representing yourself. All right? I'm out.